Hello, beautiful people. I hope you're doing well. I am Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Saadiq, also known as the Black Yule Brenner. And I hope that you're having a great day. The purpose of the Demetra K show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Like I said, big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you viewers, you are family, and sometimes I share the link. If I share the link, and especially if I've never seen you on here before and your profile looks like this, please show me this. Then you can go back to that. If you're not comfortable, just know that no one else, not even Donovan, can see you until I bring you up to the big screen. All I ask is for the comment section for us to be as respectful as possible, because it's not that we disagree, it is how we disagree. The same thing here on the panel. Also, to my moderators, I love and appreciate you. Let me know when you get married or whatever. I will dance at your wedding, as you are doing a marvelous job. Today, we're going to be talking about Daniel Penny's lawyer saying that Karmelo Anthony had the right to defend himself. And we're going to get all up into that in just a few. Let's see, until Donovan comes back. Who is on here? We have Maureen. What's going on with you? Gary Mack, hope you're doing well. Brother Thunder, what is up? D-Win, what's going on? S. Williams, I hope you're doing great. Dark Knight, how you doing? Says, man, this case is all over the place. You ain't lying. Lynette, how you doing? Montgomery, Alabama. I cannot wait for August 5th, as that is a great day in Black American history. Yes, indeed. Brother Abdul, how you doing? And Lynette knows what I'm talking about. Abdul, he says, America is no longer the superpower of the world. Chinese is. I think the Chinese kind of already been that. Daryl, how you doing? Says, the white supremacists are about to call him a race traitor. Yeah, I don't think that man cares. Brother Don, nice to see you again. Sagittarius Goddess, how you doing? And Stephen, what is going on with you, Donovan?
Hey, welcome back, you guys. Again, thanks to the moderators, and thanks to you guys, because you guys are the co-hosts on the show that make the show go. Oh man, I gotta write that down. I'm lyricizing. But anyway, do us a favor, you guys. We got a scrolling banner at the bottom. If you want to continue to have these great conversations, there's ways you guys can donate to keep the show going and keep the moderator, the contributor making these great conversations. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all that other stuff. May 24th. What is so great about May 24th? For those of you guys that want to see this person right here in person, Columbus, Ohio, at the Black Expo, May 24th is the date. Phil Scott, Vicky Dillard, one of my favorite singers, unsung singers, Tidra Moses, Marsha Ambrosia. Black Expo, Columbus, Ohio. If you got your tickets yet, great. If you haven't planned for it, go ahead, go over there and do that. Go to Demetra's Facebook page, come to my Facebook page. The information is all there. Post it up. If you have downloaded the African Diaspora News channel, you can get the information there as well. It is posted in some of the little plots and things that they have up there. So how do you get the African Diaspora News app? Google Play, Apple Store. So again, download that, become a subscription member. A yearly subscription is the most economical in my opinion. And you can also buy memberships and give it out as great gifts, graduation gifts. A lot of our people that are retiring are parents and stuff that are sitting at home with nothing to do. And they keep talking about education is the way to go, blah, 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 blah. Tell them here's something, educate yourself on what's going on in the world today. So the African Diaspora News Channel app, you can download it, Google Play, Apple Store. T. Delgado, welcome back. St. Michael of Cigarillo, welcome back. Stephen Hill, of course, always on the channel. Good to see you, brother. So, Demetra, this is going to be an interesting conversation. Let's get into it, shall we?
Yes, indeed. If you want to get tickets, if you're in Columbus, Ohio on Memorial Day weekend, the 24th through the 25th, you can go to OhioBlackExpo.com, OhioBlackExpo.com for tickets. And they're really inexpensive for all that you will get that day. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it for the sake of time. K-Mac, what's going on with you? Okay. So as you guys may or may not know about the incident that happened on April 2nd in Frisco, Texas, where 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony is accused of shanking, for lack of better words, Austin Metcalf at a track meet. where Karmelo is citing self-defense. Of course, in Texas, there's stand your ground laws where you are able to defend yourself, by any means necessary for the most part, right? If you feel like you're in danger. Well, as I was looking at the news today, I saw that Daniel Penny's lawyer, Thomas Kenneth, made a statement in regards to what is going on with Karmelo Anthony. Of course, you guys know that his client, or his former client, I should say, Daniel Penny, who at the time was 24 years old, choked to death Jordan Neely, 30 years old, on the New York subway in 2023. Of course, it was a big to-do on the media, social media, and a whole host of other things, because many were saying that Daniel Penny was not in danger. He took it upon himself to intervene, if you will. Jordan was not touching anybody. He was making verbal threats, but did not touch anybody. But nevertheless, he was choked to death. Of course, attorney Kenneth was able to get his client off on the self-defense. But in the meantime, before the trial, Daniel Penny raised, I think it was over $3 million on Give, Send, Go, the same platform that Karmelo Anthony's family is raising money to help defend him when a trial comes up. Of course, originally his bail was $1 million and was lowered down to $250,000. He is out on bail, and the family has since relocated to an undisclosed location due to a lot of safety issues and things like that. Okay. So per the U.S. Sun, Mr. Kenneth, I should say Attorney Kenneth, compared the hateful rhetoric in Anthony's case to that of his former client, Daniel Penny, from the public and elected officials. He says, especially with the elected officials, they are supposed to go by the Constitution, right? You are allowed due process and innocent until proven guilty. But he's saying, just like with my client and Karmelo Anthony, the media, social media are trying to try it all in the media instead of it having its day in court. Okay. So he also said that it is not right. Now, Kenneth supported Anthony's right to self-defense and said that it is his inherent right to do that, as I think it's everybody's inherent right to defend themselves, especially if they feel like they're in danger, right? Now, he's also said that the right to self-defense is inherent, again, and it exists in every state that he's aware of. And he's also said it's been around for a very long time. It's an old law, so it's not anything really new. So he says the defendant wants to pursue self-defense or justification. Yeah, they should have every right to do so as long as the evidence bears it out, right? So as long as the evidence in a court of law and all that supports self-defense, it is his right to use it and to say, hey, that was my justification for, unfortunately, taking somebody's life. Now, he says in the case against his client, Daniel Penny, his case was a high-profile media case that got a lot of attention and drew a lot of opinion on social media, just like that of Karmelo Anthony. So again, he says that this case, it deserves respect, right? Let it play out, and paraphrasing, in the court of law, not the court of public opinion, where it seems like a lot of cases are playing out. Now, Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff Metcalf, he came into the conversation once again on Saturday when a White Lives Matter type of group, Brother Phil covered it last night on the live stream on African Diaspora News Channel, but it was like a White Lives Matter type of group. They converged, if you will, and converged is probably too strong of a word, in Frisco, Texas, to rally in defense of Austin Metcalf, and basically saying that Karmelo should be in jail. They should not have lowered his bail and all this other stuff. Now, admittedly, it was probably, I don't know, it seemed like maybe less than 20 people out there. It was a very sparse crowd, to be exact. And then they got Austin Metcalf's father. So Austin Metcalf is a kid that got stabbed, got him on the phone, and Jeff Metcalf was like, basically, you guys are a piece of crap. Do not use my son, his name or his picture on any of you guys' website, anything. You guys are using my son. You don't give an S about my son. You don't give an S about the Karmelo Anthony family. You all are trying to use my son to stoke division and keep up a bunch of nonsense. So that was Austin's father who said that. Then, of course, the leader of this little White Lives Matter march, he basically said that's white guilt. That's what happens when you feel, I guess I'm paraphrasing, guilty for being white. And that, it sounds like they're saying that Austin's father's got this black handler, some black man or somebody who's handling his affairs and telling him to say these things and this, that, and the other. But the dad is like, listen, I don't need y'all keeping up a bunch of nonsense. Now, should also go back to the day where he showed up at the press conference where Karmelo's mother and father and the pastor were speaking. He said that, from what I understand, I don't know how true it is, that he was showing up to pray with the family, then it went awry. So I don't know. But nevertheless, Daniel Penny, of all people, his attorney, is saying that he basically agrees with Carmelo Anthony's right to defend himself. So when I read that, I was like, now you know things have really jumped the shark. When Daniel Penny's attorney says that Carmelo Anthony has the right to defend himself. Now, of course, there's a lot of us in Black America, and a lot of other people are like, Daniel Penny is guilty of sin, but the judicial system said that he wasn't. But the fact that Daniel Penny's attorney is defending Carmelo Anthony says a lot, and how far to the left, or I guess to the right at this point, that this is gone. And that all this racism and, threatening the family, the judge, and everything has just gone so far to where even Daniel Penny's lawyer is like, what are we doing? It's his right to defend himself. I want to have a conversation with y'all. And Mad Dog says, I don't trust him. I don't think it's an issue of trusting him or not. I think it's an issue of him being a lawyer, a defense attorney, and he's just spouting the law. It's the law. So it's not him having an opinion or anything. It's the law. So whether you trust him or not, I don't think that's an issue. I think he's just saying, hey, this is the law. Let it do what it's supposed to do. So, Donovan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm basically, this is very rare, you guys. I'm agreeing with you in regards to how you're outlooking on, of this case and what it's supposed to be. The sad thing is, when a Black person is basically accused of doing exactly what a white person does in regards to an incident like this, do you see how they look at the justice of it? When it's done to them, oh my God, these people are a piece of crap and the Black person is evil and we want justice and all this other stuff. But when it's a Black person, it's like, well, we didn't see the tape. We don't really know what really happened. Come on, be nice about it. And, it's just a different aspect of how these cultures look at things. And I strongly say this, and I continue to say this all the time to our people: know your basic rights. Think about this. Why is it in a republic that we live in, they do not emphasize your basic rights as a citizen within the republic? Why don't we know our basic rights and the basic fundamentals of how the justice system works? Because they want us ignorant, and so that we don't know the process of how things are going. Like I told you guys in a previous show or program, the justice system in America, when America was founded, right? The whole idea of those thieves that founded this country was that the law was to be stacked in their favor. The law is stacked more so in the favor of the defendant. The burden of proof is on who? The government. You don't even have to take the stand, and a jury can't even use the fact that you did not take the stand in your own defense. So do you see what I'm talking about? But unfortunately, a lot of us that are, especially in our culture and in other cultures that come here, we're very ignorant about our basic civil rights. And just like Demetra says, and this lawyer says, you have a right to a fair trial and, the things that come with it. I don't know all the facts. Like I said, I have an opinion, but I don't know all the facts to what's going on. But see, this is what the lawyers do. They try this stuff in public opinion. Like I said, O.J. Simpson, prime example, right? Got a superpower lawyers. Everybody, it was one of the most watched court things of all times or whatever at the time or whatever it was, right? And then when the verdict came down, the look on the white people's faces, it was unbelievable, right? They couldn't believe he got vindicated, right? But the thing is, we don't know what the evidence was. What was it that they saw that we didn't get to see? But until this very day, you have other people that still think OJ is guilty. By law, he is not guilty. Now, you might, by your opinion, you might think he's guilty, but by the law, he's an innocent man. And by the way, up until his death, OJ was looking for the killer of his ex-wife. Up until Somewhere on those golf courses, OJ was looking for the killer. Demetra?
Yes, indeed. Hey, Easy, how you doing? Long time no see. RD, we said, bring out the raccoon, Judge Joe Brown. Yes, indeed. I saw he was saying they didn't have the right. I'm going to go back to this comment here. Did I get to the bottom? Oh, I didn't. Michael Morton, how you doing? He said Karmelo was cooked, and he says that his Daniel Penny's attorney said that he had the right to defend himself, but not the right to take a life. I don't know. I'm just going to say on the surface, you sound silly. You sound silly. Because who's this? You can't tell me how to defend myself. If I feel like I'm in danger, you cannot dictate that. You cannot dictate. And Texas has a stand your ground law, up until retreat, or you don't have a duty to retreat or something like that. Basically saying I can do whatever I need to do to neutralize the threat and make sure that you are not a danger to me. So you can't say that somebody's not able to take somebody's life and they're defending themselves. That sounds silly. So what? I don't know. They're saying, and again, this is all hearsay, that the brothers was jumping on him. So what is he supposed to do? Please stop. Ouch. Okay, let me hit you back. And you hit. What is he supposed to do? So
I got a question for you, Demetra, real quick. Is there such thing as a fair when you're in a fight and you don't know, what the situation is? Is there rules to a fight when you're actually engaged in a combat of possible damage to a person and or to yourself? Are there certain rules you have to abide by?
Well, there's some. It's saying that, in certain situations, force for force type of thing, but I don't know what you're going to do to me. You're not giving me a play-by-play. Okay, listen, I'm going to slap you once on this side and once on that side, and then just push you. You okay? Like, you're not giving me an itinerary of what you're going to do, so I can't assume. I can't calculate the risk when I don't exactly know what the risks are, right? Truth Telling said this woman is holding a raccoon. I already see how this gonna go. You better believe it. You get good.
And I want to say this. The reason I bring that up is when you are in the moment, you don't know how you're going to react. So even if you did know how to react and everybody know what the rule is, you're going to do whatever you need to do to protect your life. How many women, and I'm just going to use women for example, because women are physically less stronger than men. Okay, not in all cases, but in most cases. If a man is strangling you and there's a spike right next to you and the man is strangling you, because the rule says that, I could only strangle him in return, but your life is in danger, what would you do? You're going to pick up that spike and put it right between his brain cells.
Yeah, and again, all of this is going to be adjudicated in court. Okay, let's see what's on here. I'm just reading the comments. Mike Nice, what's going on? She says there's a reaction to every action. Come on now, you better tell him. You better tell him. Queen of Dice says he did what he was supposed to do. The survival of the fittest. Come on now, if you know, right? Charles Darwin. Abdul says, trust me, the Bowie knife breaks bones. Okay, I've been seeing you talking about that. Michael said, yes, there are rules of self-defense. Yeah, there are some rules to self-defense, but how much time do I have to calculate what exactly you're going to do to me? True Teller says, going to look cute on Karmelo, those men. Okay. Again, you're the type of person that his father is talking about. And can I ask y'all a question? What's up with you people? I'm talking about you people. What is it y'all obsession with? I'm trying to be clean with this. What is your obsession with the dropping the soapage in prison? Why are y'all so obsessed with that? What is it about that y'all seem to gravitate to and that y'all like so much to where, because I've seen a lot of y'all talk about him going to prison and having that happen to him. So what is it? What is it? And I'm trying to really be nice here, so bear with me. What is it about? No. What is it about y'all nature that y'all want that to happen to somebody that is not proven in guilty yet? What is it about y'all that want to see a child bent over by another man? That's very telling about y'all. And I'm going to say that, and I know what it is. And I'm trying to be very careful here. See, that's hold on. That's the kind of stuff y'all did to our men on plantations. Your ancestors, ma'am, thought that was a good idea to do that to our men. And here y'all are, 2025, talking about you can't wait till he go to prison and have that happen to him? Is there something you want to disclose to us about your people and why y'all think that way? I'm just asking.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to tell you to when I was going to answer that as well. But it still goes on, the demasculation of Black men from the Democratic Party and in just white society, period. Black man has always and will always be a threat to white society. And the best way to get rid of Black men is to take us out of the home, to have us have a problem between us and our women, and just make the Black man the problem and to demasculate us. That's why you see people like these zesty men in Hollywood and all these other places. You know, the images of the Black man of being weak and all this other stuff. That is the playbook.
Yes, and I want to say too, and hello, STW Media. There's a lot of people coming on here trying to now qualify, I guess, if you will, trying to qualify exactly what you should be able to do. But when there's Black people getting taken out of here under self-defense claims, nobody really is trying to qualify that. Nobody's saying, well, you know, they shouldn't have, you know, did whatever they did to them. They should have done the same thing, right? In a lot of cases, it's not even been proven that that particular person that is not Black was in any danger. So it's like, why is it that when it comes to us, there's this, oh, well, you shoulda, coulda, woulda, did. No, we're not doing all of that. Listen, as they always say, I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. So,
but Trayvon Martin, the young man that was killed eating his cereal thing, what did those people do to be unalived? I mean, in Trayvon Martin's case, the dispatcher told the Zimmerman to disengage and leave it alone, but he still went and did what he did, and the young black man was unalived. So, I mean, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Right. And yes, and I keep seeing y'all easy and proverbial. How you doing? Y'all saying that just because he stuck him does not mean he intended to unalive him. So I will agree with you. Marjorie says, with this case, let's hope that the state of Texas doesn't add any new restrictions on the Second Amendment. The stand your ground law combination, proximity and safety are required for officers. So why not us? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. They may change it, but maybe it should be changed because it really benefits them. It doesn't really benefit us. Once in a while, one of us will get the benefit of it, but not like they do. Jerron says, have you researched the Maurice Byrd case yet? I think it could be used as case law defending Karmelo. I didn't look it up past that one time. I found something else, but it wasn't the case that you were talking about. Same name, different case. Nubia King says, none of these Sambo soldiers are calling case on Allison a murder. Nor are these Pales. Is that what you're saying? He says these Mexicans ain't even speaking on this Pale dude who deleted their own, but Karmelo is a killer. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. How come the Hispanic community hasn't spoken up for him? But I've seen that case. So yes, indeed. All right. Douglas, how you doing? Says, notice how quiet the white media is on Allison and Ramirez case. Not a peep. And it's pretty much same case as Karmelo Anthony and Metcalf, but both happened in Texas. Yeah, no, they don't think that's, they don't have a problem with their people doing that to somebody else. They just have a problem when it's done to them because it's not the way it's supposed to be, right? Truth Teller says strangling is life-threatening, not virile, really are. Well, I mean, you can't tell me how to defend myself, and that's another case for you to keep your hands to yourself, right? Because I wish that I would hear y'all argue that the Metcalf brothers should have kept their hands to themselves, but none of y'all saying that. And that, why you not saying it? Because y'all think that they have the right to subjugate him because y'all think y'all have the right to subjugate Black people. Y'all think that y'all have to do that, even from the plantation. Y'all been taught by your great-grandpappies and great-grandmamas and them that you have the right to subjugate Black people. They need to do what you say, when you say it, how you say it. And if you don't do it, or if they don't do it, rather than we get to put our hands on you. Even in 2025, y'all still thinking that. But see, y'all learning a lesson that we ain't our ancestors. God love them. They did what they had to do to survive, but we ain't them people no more. So you can't put your hands on us nowadays and we going to walk away. You liable to be, and catching a bad one. That's what I'm going to say. Let's see. Let me skip on down. Let's see who else is on here. Divine Garden. How you doing? Says allegedly Karmelo 5'9", 130 pounds. Austin 6'2" or 6'3", 220 pounds. He says ditto for the Metcalf twin. Yeah, there's some big boys, Isaac, how you doing? He said, yeah, Zest Monsters, right? That's yeah. They really like that to talk about that. It's like, what is it about y'all people that like talking about taking a man's manhood? I mean, I don't know. Tracy said, Demetria, because they love booty hole, you crazy. Sunlight says not bathing apes, and Easy says that part of the savage. That's part of the savage nature. I'm just asking questions because that's kind of nasty to me. Brilliant mind, you say exactly. And Michael says you don't condone SAS. A lot of people who do, you know, and it's weird to me. Don't need how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Biz, what's going on with you? Says I came in on drop the soap. I'll be back later. Isaac says men into activities. Is that what it is? Tay, how you doing? Says they like to buck break. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking. True teller, you say you an immigrant. Then what you doing in white folks' business? What are you doing in white folks' business? See, that's the problem. Let me preach to you just for a second, true teller. Let's just say something real quick. That's why I don't know where you from, so I don't want to assume. Okay, that's why your people is getting shipped on out of here by the Trump administration. And that's why black people, a lot of them didn't sign up and line up for Kamala. And they could have. Kamala would have been in office, but we didn't because immigrants always caping for white supremacy. And when white supremacy put a foot to your tailbone, then y'all get mad talking about where the black people at. Why y'all ain't here to help us? Well, because y'all be jumping in our comment section trying to defend white supremacy. So I don't know what to tell you. You might want to back on off of that because we hear everything y'all saying, even though y'all don't think we hear and see everything you're saying. So be careful because we're going to remember that when it comes time for you to be talking about where the black people at. See, we going to be minding our business, and I suggest you do the same. Let's see here. Let me skip down because I know I'm behind, and I don't mean to be. Douglas, how you doing? He says, tell him, bro. Okay. Who else? Let's see. Ray, how you doing? Says it's just sick for them to think of us blacks to be in prison. I pray that he doesn't go back to jail. I want to see him thrive. I don't think he will. I think there's a lot in that case they don't want to talk about. I think they charge him too high. And I think it's going to really come out that, you know, he defended himself. But of course, white supremacists and white supremacist supporters, if you will, they don't think that he should have done anything. He should have just, oh, okay. Let me know when you're done beating me up. I'll be okay. Let's see. I am really behind. Thunder says, question, is it wrong for me to say that the people who say that they are advocates for grape, they use that as a weapon? It's physical and psychological and emotional warfare. That's exactly what it is, because that's what they used to do to our men on the plantation, do it in front of everybody. So the other men would be afraid to act. So it's like, why would you use that? Because that's who some of them are. And they passed that ideology down, unfortunately, to their people. Like, why would you want to see them have anybody go through that? You know? But the other hand is, if you said that about a woman, women will lose their stuff. But it's often a lot of women says, well, you need to go to jail and drop the South. But if you advocate that on a woman, then, oh my God, it's wrong. So it's like, come on, let's make some sense of this. Joloff, he says, I feel for the kid, mellow man. Okay. STW Media says, and Zimmerman was wrong for that. Florida is different than Texas. Is it? Is it different than Texas? Amazonian Mirage, how you doing? Says Karmelo Anthony with his hands on the knife in his bag, dared Austin to touch it and see. That's not what I heard. And they said it wasn't even a knife. Again, that's all going to be adjudicated in the court. They said it was a track spike, a track spike or sharpener or cleaner or something like that. So they said it wasn't even a knife. But, you know, it's all going to be played out in court. And somebody going to be proven right. Somebody going to be proven wrong. That's the way it should work, right?
You know what's crazy about all this? Since the press has sensationalized this case, but yet right in our counties and our local communities, we've got Deontay on trial for a unaliving case, this case, that case, and we ain't even saying a word. We're not showing up, and we ain't got no opinion about it. We just going about our lives. You know, that's what I think is crazy about all this. We got all the smoke for this national thing, but right in our local communities, Deontay's getting ready to go to jail on a weed conviction. Shamika, she's going on, you know, to jail for a shoplifting conviction or whatever. And yet we don't show up for jury duty. We have all these opinions. You know, it's just sad. It's just sad.
Hey, Cynthia, how you doing? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Gary Monroe has passed on. It's been about 2 years, almost to I think it's April 30th of this year. It's been 2 years since he has passed on, and I hate to tell you that on here, but yeah, he passed on 2 years ago. I hate to even have to tell you that, but yeah, R.I.P. to him. He definitely is missed. Let's see here. Oh, and then regarding Deontay and all that, I mean, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Just go down to the courthouse. Go look it up. So it's not that people are not compassionate about the things that are happening. Unfortunately, we don't know about everything that's happening. We know this is happening in America every day, so it does not grab the title and the headlines like Carmelo Anthony. But as what I do, I talk about it whenever I see it. That's what I do. I highlight and I talk about it. But anytime you feel froggy, anybody else, go down to the local courthouse and rah for these brothers. They need it. It don't have to be a national case. It could be anything. So yeah, I totally. Proverbial says regarding the Texas rule about force, the part they leave out is force multiplier. So two 225-pound individuals attacking a 135-pound person could be considered a multiplier force. Yeah, definitely, right? Easy says Allison case is case law for Karmelo defense. Yeah, because they I haven't heard anybody say anything about it. And specifically the Hispanic community. I'm wondering why they're silent about that.
No. See, you're misinformed. They're always helping us. Those 8 slaves that ran away during the slavery that they helped. That means everything in the world. That the one black president that they had that they ended up killing after he fought, for them independence. They're going to tell you all this stuff that they've done for us, but they can't show anything.
Yeah. Hey, Michelle, how you doing? Chris, what's going on with you? He says, notice how when Mr. Metcalf was asked to leave a place, he just peacefully left and no one was stabbed in the heart. Be more like Metcalf. Well, why was Metcalf there in the first place? See, he didn't need to be there. That's the problem. He shouldn't have been there. You know what I mean? So y'all trying to give him kudos for leaving peacefully. He should have never arrived peacefully. And I think y'all keep it. And that again, and I don't know who you are, what you are, but again, somehow y'all keep jumping over the subjugation part of it. Him showing up to that press conference uninvited is a form of subjugation and intimidation. Right? The fact that he was told to leave repeatedly and then he finally left. But y'all think for whatever reason, y'all are entitled to do any and everything you want to do to black people. And you are not. Because they couldn't have showed up at the funeral of Austin Metcalf says, well, we're just here. Y'all have spun around like the Tasmanian devil. So stop leaving off the point that if there wasn't an A, there might not have been a B. Right? As somebody said, for every action, there's a reaction, whether it's good or bad. Remember that. Let's see. Double A, he says 6'2" is average size nowadays. It could be, right? Bitch, he says we can always wait until the trial to make assumptions. Yeah, that's what I keep saying. People talking like they was there. Oh, he wasn't jumped. Oh, he did. Was you there? Somebody had gave me the whole rundown, and I asked them, was they there? And I'm still waiting for them to respond, and that was 2 weeks ago. Sagittarius Goddess says they coming in the poor black communities, paying them to harm and delete their own people. Brother Don says it's in their nature. It goes all the way back to the cave. When they came out, they were created. What? Oh, I thought my phone was on vibrate. Let's see. Let's see here. Let me skip down a little bit. Marjorie said, Demetra, they sure weren't segregated when it came to SA and our people dabbing and mixing with our daughters and sons for their sexual desires. Yeah, it make sense. And in regards to the segregation part, we didn't come get y'all. Y'all came and got us. We were by ourselves with ourselves. And y'all came and did the commingling by commingling us with y'all. And a lot of times now they act like, oh, well, we don't want to be what y'all should have told that to your ancestors when they came and got us and put us on plantations. And like you said, mixing and mingling with our DNA. We didn't ask y'all to do that. So how are you to try to, act like you got the upper hand of being upset? If anybody should be upset, it should be us. Easy says, D, let's put this to rest. Everyone keep focusing on bringing weapons to school. I guarantee if they search lockers of Karmelo school, he's not the only one with a knife. I totally agree with you. I see what you're saying, Nubian King. Mad Dog says that's why they don't want the video to come out yet. Yeah, and when it does, we'll see what happened, right? Thunder says, like I said, a black man can only be seen as a predator and never a victim. Come on now. Michael says they aren't charging Karmelo based on his race. Come on now. It says they're charging him based on the law. That's a damn lie. It's a damn lie. Because we've seen it many a times. And when it's happened the reverse way, they rarely get charged with capital one. They're charging him with capital one. Gave him $1 million bail. It's almost unheard of, especially for a 17-year-old. So you ain't gonna sit and tell me it ain't because he black. If it ain't because he black, then what is it? Especially if he was invoking a law that's here in Texas. What is it?
Yeah, and you've got to remember a black young man that has no prior record. They don't usually go that high if you've never been in trouble before.
Right. And I've seen some other comments. Daryl, he says the black judge saved Karmelo's life. He saw the white cop shaking Austin's dad's hand and kept saying sorry. Jail guards might have killed him. You're right. And they knew that because that's what they used to do. Back in the day, a black man was accused of something. Most of the time he was accused and never really even happened. The mob will get to him. And you ain't gonna tell me that a lot of these police officers ain't rolling with the KKK. There's no doubt, because that's where the KKK started from. In these courthouses, you know, the Senate houses, the capitals, Washington. That's where the KKK started. So there's no doubt in my mind if they didn't move that kid, that something was gonna happen to him. So
Dimitri, I have a question, and this is a serious question. If you guys in the chat could help me answer this, why is it that these trolls come over here? If they are stooped in mind with their opinion, why do they come to programs that don't have the opinion that they have with all the foolishness? Could somebody please answer that?
And it don't bother me. They need to be educated, because they've been listening to ignorance, and I'm just here to give it to them straight, so they can stay. I don't care as long as they ain't getting too froggy. Mission Vision, how you doing? TS, how you doing? It says, Michael, we are dealing with demons, plain as that, because probably y'all looking in the mirror, I guess. So you guys are saying that the police report says knife. Okay. Again, we're going to hear all about that during the court proceedings, as I'm sure it's going to be all over the news. Carrie.
Yeah, I'm just amazed at how everybody have all the facts. I'm just amazed at that. Like I said, I just got done with jury duty last month. I'm amazed that, having not even gone to court yet, everybody knows what has gone down. Like I said, it's nothing wrong with speculating, but I'm talking about those folks, not these folks. Those folks, they already know hook, line, and sinker. The man is just done and guilty.
Quicks, how you doing? Yes, I heard about Austin's dad. I just try not to repeat that type of stuff. I mean, I know everybody else is doing it. I try not to get into that. Sister Shirley, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Allie, what's going on with you? Thank you. Appreciate you for that. But of course, how you doing? Y'all hear I'm losing my voice. I got sick the other day. It's the strangest thing. Aaron, how you doing? Again, TS, were you there? That's awesome. I think it was you said he went to steal. Did he tell you he was going there to steal? How do you know that? See, y'all just be, woo. Okay, Daniel.
Whatever stick to the wall. Whatever they can stick to the wall.
Hey, Daniel says, what about the white kid that stabbed, yes, a Hispanic 5 times in the high school restaurant downtown Texas? Yeah, that's the one we've been talking about. But I want to know where his community is. Where is his community to ride? They should be riding out for him. Greg, how you doing? Says, how does a murderer get to leave the country and go on vacation to be black? What? I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about. Okay, let's see. Skip it on down. Avenge the ancestors. How you doing? Long time no see. And yes, indeed. Christina. He says the so-called SAF Jet Metcalf is not the right person, but Karmelo. Again, y'all talking past the close. Okay, it's a case. Was it self-defense or not? Y'all done dug up all off into the daddy's past, the pastor's past. What's wrong with y'all? Boy, I'm glad none of y'all lawyers, because the people y'all representing be screwed, because y'all don't know nothing. Y'all know better than picking up a tabloid and just reading it and then spewing it off as facts. Well, I heard. Well, from the Inquirer? My God. Y'all talking
They've
past
been
the
watching
clothes.
SDI, whatever those shows are, with Ice-T and stuff. They just think that
Just
they're.
talking past the clothes. Y'all all up in people's bedrooms, and what kind of drawers are they wearing? Y'all know that too? Jesus. Leon, how you doing? Says these privileged people claim that this wasn't self-defense based on facts. Question, whose facts are we talking? Because virtually everything about their existence has been proven to be a lie. You said it, I did not. Sunlight says, no, Metcalf didn't peacefully leave. The cop had to force him. I've seen it, but of course, they're saying he was like, Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya. I'm gonna leave and bid you all Godspeed and peace. That's how they saw it, all right, TS. Well, good. You said you wouldn't be around none of us animals like we want you to be. Who you think you talking to? You acting like we want you to be around us. Good. Sounds like you doing us a favor, but if you don't want to be around us, why are you here? Sound like you want to be around us. It also sounds like y'all don't have the ability to mind your business. You know why you don't have ability to mind your business? Because what you're doing over there in your part of the world ain't that fresh. It ain't that interesting. It's like watching paint dry. It's like watching somebody lick mayonnaise off a spoon. It's like watching white bread be toasted on one side and not the other. That's why. So I get it. We're interesting. I get it. Miss Lovelace, she says, right, like the father, like son. I don't know. Divine, he says, two rumors. Karmelo was there to see a friend. It says EP is the initials to it began raining, and coach said he could go to the nearest tent. Right. And again, we're gonna learn all of that. Lee Farrington, how you doing? Says breaking news: the state of Texas has agreed to pay all embalming costs for the body of Karmelo. Okay. Well, hopefully they agree to do that to your mama too. All right. Cynthia says, I believe Karmelo will get a fair trial. Metcalf had no business rather trying to tell anyone anything about where they could sit. No, that's what they like to do. They like to subjugate, which means control and dominate Black people. They think that's their right until they get a right and a left. Greg, he says it was a school function, which was one kid was suspended for fighting and carrying a knife. Thomas, she says he didn't come to start a fight like his son did. Right. When nobody knows why his dad was there. I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, but let's just use our common logic. What makes you think just because you go to some event that there won't be a fight or an altercation? Do you guys realize? Well, you guys realize, but I guess obviously they don't realize. Any moment you step out of your home could be your last day. And it's not just because, of a fight. It could be an accident or whatever. Who doesn't know that?
Right. I'm just reading the comments. Leon said, this is not about these young men. This is about protecting privilege. I guess. Joanne, how you doing? Says Carmelo Anthony versus Austin and his brother is like David and Goliath, a $130 opposed to over 200 pounds. Why two instead
Don't
of
believe that
one?
height. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
size has nothing to do with it. When it comes to two men, it has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, yeah, they trolling for attention, but if they feel like they need some attention, it's free. Marjorie says, my grandson was at the track meet that day when it happened. We were FaceTiming and the coach told him and the team to go sit under the bus until it stopped raining. I was waiting for him to run. Okay, interesting. Internationally known, how you doing? Cooking with Miss D, how you doing? Says all of this hate is geared towards starting a race war. But as Brother Phil pointed out, I think it was so beautiful. He says some people ain't about their life. All three of them showed up on Saturday for the White Lives Matter protest. All three of them, okay? And in all fairness, there was, this brother was out there as well talking about, White Lives Matter and all this other stuff. And he didn't have no front teeth. And it sounded like they got knocked out when he was with the foolishness somewhere in San Francisco. So, they say they want to start a race war, but do you really if only three of y'all showed up? What you gonna do with that? Not a whole lot. Anyway, Easy says victimizers have mastered playing victim after their shenanigans. Yeah, but we ain't falling for it. Let's see. Black Ice, how you doing? Says why white don't have the same energy for Case and Allison because it's one of them doing it to somebody else. So they all right with that. They just don't want it being done to them. M says damn lie. Even when it caught on tape that New York Hellified cop still has not been charged. And which one is that? Because there's a few of them. You talking about the one with Eric Gardner? All right, let's see. Skip it on down. Christina, you says Cal Rittenhouse had $2 million in case, and Allison had $1 million bond. Yeah, but his was lowered as well, and I think it was $175 what it was lowered to, and he was able to bond out. And they ain't heard a peep from his folks about that at all. But yet they want, Carmelo Anthony to be tried on Twitter. Weird. Okay, let's see here. Black Avatar, how you doing? Scoop, what's going on with you? Says that's why they call them race soldiers. But are they really soldiers if they ain't showing up and putting boots on the ground? I'm just asking. They talk a good game, but we see what they about. They ain't really about that. You know what I mean? Most of they people is protesting Trump, talking about how dare you do this to us, and they wondering where black people at, minding our business. Y'all got it from here. Y'all don't need us to help you do that. Y'all, a lot of them people voted for Trump out of pure racism, and now Trump is like, I don't care about y'all because y'all not rich, right? And so now you got these geriatric white people out there, these veterans, and a whole host of other people out there stomping and singing, "We shall overcome." Wondering where we at, and we're like, nah, we did it for too long. Y'all be all right, because see, Trump ain't really messing with black people all like that. Did he take a Black Lives Matter role? Yes. We didn't get a check with that. Get it removed from George Floyd statues? Yes. We didn't get a check with that. The stuff he's doing, it don't really affect us, right? Black people, we doing what we doing. It's them. It's them.
And if they're relying on their little overweight, fat, punchy kids, good luck with that. So again, this is what happens when you have the kids sitting in the basement playing PlayStation all day.
Hey, Bobby, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yes, they definitely want attention, but I get it. Maybe they'll feel loved after this. Thunder says, I have a few white. I know, not you have. I knew a few white women who were clear biggest, but they had sweet tooth for chocolate. If I know. Yeah, they like Mandingo. And that's why they men be mad. Because they women like the Mandingo and not the Pinko, but the Mandingo. All right, let's see who else came on here. Yes, Pacific Brave. He is a very smart young man. You're right about that. Shanine, how you doing? A long time no see. He said, didn't Rittenhouse have a rifle and was underage and killed 3 people in the back, and his mama dropped him off? Lee says, I hear that Elon Musk has already invented a new Tesla electric chair. I guess. Easy says, they like to antagonize and say outlandish stuff to insult and humiliate Donovan. Reason why they come to this show. Yeah, they need some attention, I guess, Let's see. Who haven't I seen on here? Yes, Brandy. They very nosy. They cannot keep their nose out of other people's business. Key 5, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Kay Daniel says that was overkill what the white kid did to the Hispanic kid, and white people claiming it was self-defense. Yeah. I wonder why. Let's see. Let's see. And hey, Jonathan, how you doing? Dante says, what's that old saying? The most dangerous place for a black man to be is in a white person's, you name it. You fill in the blank. But I think it's imagination. All right. Bobby says, Black America, where you at? Don't conjure up Black America, please. Don't say his name like Candyman. He might show up. Steven, he says, I get the super chat earlier on. You must have dipped out when I said thank you, but thank you so much. I did get that. Thank you. Jacoby, how you doing? Says, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to keep saying that until it sticks. This is such an open shut case of defamation lawsuit because now the family can compare both cases that recently just happened. Oh, most definitely. But again, this all will play out in court, and then we'll see the evidence as they have it. All right, who else came on here? I love to read all y'all comments, but y'all know how it is. Tito, what's going on with you? I always see your comment when I'm leaving out of here. Brandy says, Austin was just trying to show out in front of those people. Yeah, and subjugate Black people. And, you can't do that to everybody. Everybody ain't going to play with you. Somebody going to be your huckleberry, Terrence, how you doing? Says y'all forgot the Joe Horn situation here in Pasadena, Texas, when the law told him to stay in his house, but he didn't, and shot 2 guys in the back and claimed he feared for his life. He got away. That sounds like George Zimmerman. It's the same exact thing that he did, and his people raised money for him. Talk about how he was the victim and all this other stuff, and all the kid was doing. The kid being Trayvon Martin was walking from the store with Skittles and an iced tea with a hoodie, and his people thought that George Zimmerman was a hero. You know, they've draped him in Confederate flags and bought his weapon that he killed Trayvon with, and you know all that. They held him as a hero, and we know why. So you know they just don't like it when it's done to them. But learn to mind your damn business, and you ain't got to worry about it. It's just that simple.
Yeah, but let's go back to recent history to where we're from. What's her name? The girl that was shot by the Korean lady. You know,
that way you talking about Latasha Harlan, 1991, yeah. Sudan Jew. Yeah.
You know, but you didn't see where were the Hispanics when all that went down? You know, you didn't see any of that. You didn't see the white people come out or nothing like that. And all that girl did, it was after it came out in court, it was proven the girl was going to pay for whatever it was. And this lady basically murdered her, and she got away with probation. Come on now.
Yeah. So, you know, but again, we know that they have no value on Black life. They don't think Black life is valuable. They think that we supposed to agree with everything they did. I said it wasn't self-defense, boy. And we're supposed to say, oh, okay, well, you're right. Yes. No, we know. Oh. I have to invoke my Kamala. No. That's
and this goes back to not paying attention to your local politics, where you can vote in the DA, you can vote in some of these judges and your school boards and all the stuff that's that's important. I get tired of hearing Black moms and dads complaining about how bad the school system is, but yet Donald Trump says, okay, let's get rid of it. And these folks fighting like, oh my God, he's gotten rid of the education system. But you just said that it's a terrible thing and your kids ain't learning nothing. So what difference does it make? But it does make a difference that DA, that if he looks like you, hopefully he ain't that one like that attorney general in Daniel Cameron in Kentucky. He ain't like one of those type of guys. But the point is, it does make a difference. But see, we're too busy partying, going on our trips, and I hate to keep saying that, but you guys know, you guys have been on this show long enough to know that even though it's stereotypical and it's not in all cases, in our community, we are so busy either working, raising our children, and just trying to survive that we're not paying attention to the things that really are making a difference to make our community better.
Absolutely. I made it down to the bottom. Nikki, if I didn't already, hello, he says, do Trump have to cater to only Black Americans when there are other races that voted for him? We're not asking Trump to cater to Black Americans. I don't even know where you got that misconstrued. We're saying that we don't care. Anything that Trump is doing in the White House, and he's doing a lot, him and Elon, it ain't really having no big effect on us. So we don't care. The point to me saying that is white folks that's out there, and the immigrants and everybody else is out there. They romping and stomping, boots on the ground, talking about, oh my God, Trump is doing this, that, and the other. Black people like, listen, Trump ain't doing nothing to y'all that ain't never been done to us. Trump ain't really messing with Black people all like that, So we're like, we just gonna mind our business. One thing, as I said, about the Trump administration that I love is that Black people are starting to get on the same page. Black people starting to unify. Black people starting to have these conversations. Okay, like, bet, what do we need to do? Oh, we need to buy Black. We need to sell Black. We need to shop Black. We need, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about group economics again. Kamala wasn't going to have us do that. So do I love all the things that Trump is doing? No, I do not. But if nothing else takes place, I am glad that Black Americans are starting to say, oh, Marcus Garvey was right. Oh, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was right. Oh, Dr. Claude Anderson is right. Now we're starting to have those conversations. So we wasn't going to have that if Trump was not in the White House. So he don't have to do nothing for us. Would it be nice? Yes, we ain't going to say no. But that he's doing it to people who supposed to be like him, I ain't got nothing to say about that. Like I said, they not special. We've been enduring. We've been overcoming. And we are overcoming. Do you know, I think it was in 2021, it was projected that we were supposed to be extinct. And trust me, they've done a lot of things to extinct the black man and woman, especially here in America. But we are still here. If we survive slavery, Jim Crow, and everything else, we're going to survive this. 4 years. This is a reckoning here. This had to happen, especially for black people, so that we could get on the same page. So I thank the Trump administration more than anything. If he ain't never did nothing for us, he's done enough. Ain't that what they say in church? If Jesus has never done another thing for me, not that I'm likening Trump to Jesus. Don't get it twisted. But I'm just saying, it's a net benefit actually for Black Americans.
Yeah, and we say this, and we've been saying on this show for a long time. When you're at the bottom of an economic system, it doesn't matter who is in charge. Your life is not going to change much unless the system is overturned and you want to be from the bottom and you want to move to the top. So when you're at the bottom, it doesn't matter. That's why you see most Black people, it's just another day in the park for us because we're at the bottom of this economic system. And I personally want to overturn that system because that's logical for you to do so. Who wants to sit here and fight for the status quo? Well, I'm going to go fight Donald Trump and whatever. Hey, I'm going to sit back and watch and see what Donald Trump can do because it could only get better for me. I mean, it can get worse. But the thing is, all my votes going to the Democratic Party, and we're at a worse position than we were 60 years ago. So when you're at the bottom, it doesn't matter who's in charge. So we got to stop being afraid and stop letting the Democratic Party fearmonger us into voting for them again. No, now they are paying attention. They know what we want and they know what we need. But this goes to show you a party that will prioritize other groups, knowing that they can't win elections without that Black vote. They would rather lose than get, and that's just the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Thunder. I hear what you're saying. And Jonathan, he says, my best friend's mother told me that Trump signed a bill that white owners of companies can reject Black job applicants because they're Black and face no consequences. Yes, they got rid of that. It was Trump is getting rid of or got rid of the segregation ban, which means that segregation is now legal on the federal level with contractors. And that's fine. That's okay. Because I personally wouldn't want to work with somebody who does not want me to work there. See, that's another thing Black Americans are learning, is stop begging them folks to do for you what you've been told you could do for yourself. And yeah, Allie, I'm losing my voice. As I said, Marcus Garvey said, up you mighty nation, accomplish what you will. Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us to do for self. Dr. Claude Anderson said, practice group economics. Nipsey Hussle, RIP, said all money in. And a host of other people have told us, Black people, you are who you waiting on. Okay, stop begging them. Stop begging them to do for you what we could do for ourselves. We've done it before. We could do it again, right? So if they want to not hire us, I ain't really trying to work for Boss Hog like that. No way. Just to put it on out there. Let's see who else came on here. Jesse, how you doing? Brina says, I was trying to pay attention to community and politics until I ended up in the hospital. All that crap didn't matter anymore. I just felt like I wanted to live my life now. Yeah, some people are just that way, right? They're just saying, hey, let me do what I can do and not be stressed out. Thunder says, am I wrong for saying at least President Trump is being fair and even-handed? Looks like everyone, for the most part, is catching hell. There you go. And Black people catch hell all the time, and nobody has a word to say. But now there's white people and everybody else. It's like, oh my God. Frank, how you doing? Says, if we think our kids are undereducated, now wait until education goes back to the states like Mississippi, and then more importantly, educate your own kids. Education should start at home first. It should not start in the schoolhouse. Now, I ain't old enough to know about no schoolhouse per se, but it should not start at the school. It should start at home. You should educate your own children. As I said, don't cry about those book bans and if you ain't got the books in your house. If you ain't got the book that you mad that they getting rid of in those schools that talk about Black American history, do you have it in your house? And if you don't have it in your house, shut your mouth and stick yourself, respectfully. And I'm being as nice as I can about it. But we got to stop wanting them to do for us what we can do for ourselves. Now, I want to say this. That does not mean they don't owe us reparations, because they do and we don't get it. It's not if, it's when.
Yeah. And again, how do you expect another group of people to teach your children their history? Nobody could teach your own history but yourself. So again, when your kids are out there and ignorant and they don't know who the Tuskegee Airmen is and all this other stuff and these great people in history, but they can tell you who Cardi B is. They can tell you who Jay-Z is. They can tell you all that stuff, but they can't tell you, even the people that are detrimental to our community, the Margaret Sangers and people like that. That's your fault as a parent. That is your fault.
Hey, Forrest, I hope I said that right, and I know I didn't. The producer, how you doing? Yeah, teach your own children about our own history. They're not gonna teach you, right? Trust me. I know. Scoop, did I say hello to you? If not hello, he says one thing we know how to do is make $1 out of 15 cents. You ain't lying. We gonna make it do what it do. Them people, they haven't had to do that. And the other problem, as I said too, the problem is that they've been gatekeeping everything from us to where the stuff that they've been gatekeeping has been taken from them now. So we are used to not having what they have. We're used to being shut out of what they benefited from for years and years and decades and decades and decades. And now it's come crashing down and they're spazzing out. They don't know what to do. But Black people, we've always been resourceful and figured it out. And we're going to keep on doing it. So can't say that we're really, will it hurt some of us? Yes. But we figure out things out. Sunlight says, yep. And them still showing their age. Yeah, they all over in El Salvador trying to get immigrants out. They ain't said nothing about the prisons here, ain't said nothing about the people getting done dirty over here. They run, how you spending taxpayer dollars going to El Salvador, and checking on the prisoners there. Those people, first of all, listen, I don't think it's right that they sent them to prison. I think it's wrong. I think they should have just put them out the country, let it do what it do. But, they shouldn't have been over here in the first place. Repentant Judah, how you doing? Ernest, what's going on with you? Says white folks voted Trump in thinking they it would do us some harm. Instead, they're feeling the pain. Yeah, it kind of backfires on you sometimes. Useful. I hope I said that right. 678. How you doing? Let's see. Carrie says I heard a joke once. It says we are like cockroaches. We were here before you came and we'll be here when you leave. Yeah, and sometimes they say we're cockroaches and it's not nice, but I get the sentiment nevertheless. Oh, what the hell? Conjured up Black America. How you doing, by the way? Says Miss D, where are Black people coming? Where are Black people coming together? What can you point to that we can see? Well, you see it all the time. You see it everywhere. We weren't having these conversations before. Now, some of it is misguided, like boycotting Target. I don't give a damn about Target. Target hires a lot of Black people. But we're now saying, you know what? We're not going to everybody else's burning building and putting it out. We're not romping and stomping for everybody else. We're going to sit home and we're going to do the things that we are doing. You ain't seeing Black people out there in them protests that they having every weekend. We home. Now you might see a couple of them. They look like a piece of pepper and a whole bunch of salt or whatever. But we ain't really out there like that. We've learned our lesson. Like, nah. Because first of all, we get out there and then they really going to bring out the big boys and try to neutralize us. So let the white folks do it. Because when we was out there marching for reparations, a whole lot of other stuff, they wasn't out there. They was in the confines of their homes, flipping through the TV saying, oh, what are they mad at now? So they got it. Yeah, I'm losing my voice, y'all. Hope I have it for tomorrow because I got to record 15 videos. Thunder says, him putting in segregation is a double-edged sword. Family cuts both ways. Yeah, because however will they learn how to use seasoning if they're not around us? Tracy said, Demetri, we know about a schoolhouse. That's a little before my time, the schoolhouse. The schoolhouse that knows that we was all going to school from kindergarten to 12th grade in the same schoolhouse. Alicia, how you doing? Says exactly. I could read and do math in my head when I started school, so could all of my siblings and cousins, my children and grandchildren as well. Learning starts at home from day one. Yeah, don't wait till you get there to teach your children. Some kids go to school and it's like, can you spell your name? No. How you send your babies to school and they don't know how to spell their own name? Now I get it. If you named them Aquanetta, Boone, Quisha, Shalisha, no, I get it. That's probably kind of hard, but even still, you should probably teach them how to spell that.
Yeah, but isn't that crazy? They got rid of cursive writing for 20, 30 years, and now they want to bring it back because they see that it's indicative to fraud in documents that people are signing. These kids don't know how to sign them in. When you can print, it's easier to copy that.
Frankie says, I disagree, Kate. People can't be segregated and integrated at the same time. I don't think. Why should we? Because are you really integrated and segregated at the same time? Aren't you really just more integrated? If you're mixing and mingling to any degree, I think.
Well, let's follow the example of that white colony in South Africa, or was that Orania, wherever that is, Orania?
Orania.
Yeah, they're all or nothing. You ain't gonna be black coming up in there. They're separated. They want to be separated. They ain't playing.
Yeah. Yanni, how you doing? Says Dimitri Donovan. Hello. You're saying Louisiana's trying to cut independence out of the elections. I'm asking y'all to research the going-ons down here. Oh, yeah, no, they trying to fix it to where only they can stay in power. But listen, you are not going to out-legislate the will of God. You're not. Listen, Yanni, me, you know what they're trying to do. They're trying to out-legislate and legislate to where I saw today where Trump is offering $5,000 to mamas to have babies after they had a baby. It's like, sucker, is you crazy? $5,000, it costs upwards of $300,000 to raise a child to 18. $5,000, sucker. And I saw also that Elon Musk posted a study where they said the birth rate is down in every state, historically low, the birth rate. And so he says, if we don't start having children, Lord knows he's got a lot of them, that we are going to, there won't be a civilization. It's like, well, I mean, so that's partly why they're trying to stay in power, so they could try to, fudge the hand of God and all that, but you ain't going to out-legislate that. And if those same people who are in those Capitol houses and things trying to write all these laws, they say that they're Christians. Well, if you're a Christian, you got to get what you put out. So they got it coming. But, A for effort, I guess. Michelle, how you doing? Says they're finding out that the ditch you dig for someone else, black people, is the one you end up falling in. Karma. Yep, Mr. Evil Turkey. How you doing? Says Penny's lawyer said Karmelo has a right to claim self-defense. Don't you listen? Do your mama listen? Jay Bubba, how you doing? Says, well, our folks use school for daycare. You better stop it. Black America says, well, protests, of course, you couldn't point something out because unfortunately there is nothing. Man, I'm not going to be doing all that with you. And anybody in this chat could tell you there's been protests. Now, because you live under a rock in a funky cave with all three of your women, that don't mean that it ain't going on. So you could Google protests. How about this? I'll help you out. Google hands off protests, since you so ignorant up in here. Anyway, Scoopy says we need more black farmers. When we do that in mass, we gonna really uplift the black community. I totally agree. Thunder says, have you noticed that while white folks were protesting, no one came to there to protect the property? Yeah, that's what I said. Once we get out there, it's a wrap. They gonna be trying to do too much. GP says black economics does not exist, in my opinion. I say that because I reached out to multiple prominent black YouTubers to help my channel growth. They didn't help, but yet poorly copied my editing. That don't. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. How did you draw that correlation, brother?
Black economics is the core economics that keep this country rolling with these corporations and stuff. They depend on black dollars. That's a fact, because $2.something trillion that we get every year, we give 97% of that away. So we're the base of the economic system in the United States. That's just a fact. Unfortunately, now we've overpaid for a lot of stuff like the Nikes and the Birkin bags and stuff like that, as we now find out that China gave up the games. But that's also a plus for black people, because now we know, and a lot of us, you guys, them folks, we've known for a long time that, these things were all made in China and stuff like that. Demetra used to be at the swap meet every weekend she got to get her knockoff stuff. So we've known the game for a long time. But black economics in this country is the foundation. If black people stop buying for one weekend the stocks would start tumbling. That is a fact.
Yeah, and we could do it. You know, Target is already trying to talk to Al Sharpton. It's like, oh my God, these pastors are just usurping each other left and right. But Target now wants to have a conversation. Laterio, I hope I said that right. How you doing? He says, I wish the new era Detroit would come down to Texas and offer protection for the Anthony family. That would show solidarity and strength. It's time to start protecting our own. Something tells me that there's a lot of people who are protecting them. Of course, they're probably not going to say who they are, but I seriously doubt that they're not getting any protection. Coley, how you doing? He says, Demetra, I agree with you. This is not the old days. You just can't put your hands on people. Yeah, they're going to find out. Hey, Bakari, how you doing? Mexico, what's going on with you? Says, the more dirt they throw on us, they are only losing ground. Yep, I agree. I see y'all comments, but I'm going to get out of here. As y'all know, my voice is jacked up. Let's see. You just want to acknowledge anybody else I have not seen. Aaron, I saw you, but he says, why him? He doesn't speak for the masses. Because Al Sharpton has been used to usurping movements. It's giving Jay-Z when he says, oh, we're past kneeling. I ain't never seen your knock knees on no ground, nowhere kneeling. So how we past kneeling? So that's kind of what I heard when, you know, Al Sharpton talking about that I'm going to go talk to Target to do what? Get you a little check to get black people back at Target. Listen, if you shop at Target, that's your business. As I said, I see a lot of black people working at Target. Getting rid of Target is going to get rid of a lot of black jobs or whatever the case is. I take my ass in Target if I need something. I don't go to Target often, but if I need something and I can't find nowhere else, but it's in Target, I'll be in there.
Yeah, but you got to remember these modern day pastors, they don't represent black people anyway. They do that as gatekeepers and they go get a check, and that's all it's about. It's about, you know, putting money in his pocket.
So cool. How you doing? Says sounds like an audible on the play. I don't know what that is. You talking about my voice? Black America. Now this is how I've already stopped taking you seriously. I'm gonna really stop taking you seriously because you making me waste my last good voice. It says I looked up that protest. It is against Donald Trump. That is not bringing up black people. It's not bringing black people together. You didn't even know about the protest until I told you. Now you done came to the conclusion it's not bringing black people together. How did you surmise all of that by doing a little quick Google search that is not bringing black people together? Where is your facts to say it's not? So you just thugging up in here. Don't you got a truck to be driving somewhere, brother? I don't know. Don't be texting and driving. Alex says, thank you for being a family broadcast. No cussing. Yeah, I'll be trying not to do that. Sometimes it slips. Y'all must forgive me. Divine says, soothe your throat with honey and slippery elm if you have it. Yeah, you know, my daughter has slippery elm, and I was wondering what it's for, but now I guess I know now. I just need to be quiet. And some of y'all will be like, yes, you need to be quiet. Shy to ATL. He says, how you doing? He says, we went from the master to the pastor. Okay. Oh, you said a word with that one. No, hell no, Black America. I had the energy to bring you up on here. And hell to the no. Sorry, Allie. I was not supposed to be cussing, but hell to the no. Terrence, it says on 7/4/19, he says, I dragged the American flag. White guy got mad and tried to take my property. I broke his jaw. They were mad. It says DA tried to change the law to get me. Went to court twice. Both hung jury. They mad. Yeah, keep your hands to yourself. It's my flag. I can do what I want to do with it. And I know, you know, it's not advisable to do that. But yeah. Yeah, Bakari, we must bring ourselves together. Rosetta, how you doing? Says, I talking about Donovan's dog is so cute. Yes, he is. He bad. I went over there the last time I was down there, and I went to the door. That dog was. I said, listen, meet me outside, brother. I don't need to come in. Meet me outside because your dog is doing a lot. They got a lot of energy. Whatever, Black America. All right, so Donovan, you have any last words? Because I surely don't. I do, but I can't.
Yeah. No, my last words is, again, you know, this is going to be an interesting case. If but the sad thing is, once the case gets started, everybody's going to lose interest and go on to the next tragedy in Black America, not, our Black America in the chat. And it's going to be sad. And then, regardless of how it comes out, they ain't got no smoke for what's going to happen if it's stand your ground and he wins his case. But again, I don't know what's happening. I don't know the facts. You guys don't really know the facts. And, when it comes out, it's going to come out. And, I, for one, based on the law, from what I understand, this is my opinion, if it is proven that he stood his ground, he stood his ground. As simple as that. Cut and dry.
Hey, Mr. Norris, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. He says, I've been chilling through it all. Yeah, rest your nerves. Rest your nerves. This ain't our fight. That's their fight. We need to sit back and organize, and all of that. Let them do it. We're tired. You pulled over. You quit lying, Black America. Thunder, I am not bringing him up.
No. I got to acknowledge Emperor Norris Graves is always in the chat supporting us. Hey, Emperor Norris.
Yes, indeed. So listen, anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Walter said he's coming on tomorrow, okay? We're going to hold him at it. If not, we're going to choke him. So he said he would be here. And, he going to do most of the talking so I can rest my voice. But anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Mr. Evil Turkey, why do you lie? Why do we lie to our viewers? Why are you an evil turkey? I don't know. We could be here forever trying to explore that. An evil turkey is wild. Wild turkey. Evil turkey. Anyway, y'all have a great rest of your evening. Love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Peace.